Christmas 2025. Outdoor lights setup, non-icicles or C9 roof lights, part 4. There's going to be 2 more parts to this, and then the outside lights will be done. Need to clear out the heater here because we need to use it. It is absolutely freezing. So our ill-cooperative weather patterns are continuing. Today it is in the 20s. It's freezing outside, but it's not windy and it's not raining, so we can be outside in small increments and it's kind of tolerable. I have a lot of shirts on and a noisy jacket, so if the audio is kind of screwed up, that's why. That's what that background noise is. So today is Saturday, and tomorrow, Sunday, is forecasted to be raining. I looked on the weather map and there is in fact a large storm coming this way. And then Monday is supposed to be sunny, but it looks like with this rain is coming a very cold front. So on Monday, the highs are only going to be in the 30s, and the lows are going to be in the 20s. And then after that, the lows go below 20, and there's some days in the forecast where the days don't even get above freezing. So it's going to be extremely cold all week, and the ground is going to freeze. So that means we have to get everything that goes in the ground done between today, tomorrow, and Monday. So today we're going to try to finish all the lights, and then tomorrow, while it's raining, I will fix what's broken and then either put it out if it's not that cold, or finish up on Monday. So the deer have been tested, the deer are working, and so those are good to go. Put those out tonight. I have not tested any of this DEL stuff. These have not proven to be very reliable, so I wouldn't be surprised if a significant portion of these are not working anymore, which is annoying. So I'm going to have to take everything outside string by string because it's so cold, the lights will just freeze almost instantaneously. So here we go. I put these gloves on top of the wood stove for a while before I came out here. They're pretty warm, but it ain't gonna last. I did do a lot of work earlier today out here. I ran all the wiring that we need. I didn't get that on video because we're on a time crunch here because of the weather, and I would have had to move the camera like 75 times to keep all of that in the frame, and it just would not have worked. So I didn't film that. And yes, I have the correct plug here. I thought I screwed this up. But that, it's not that interesting. It's just laying extension cords in the ground. I will show what goes on inside. We have to do a lot of labeling and playing some games with how things plug in. And that's kind of interesting to some people anyways. Alright, so these trees are going to take 2 strings each. because they're pretty wide. My nose is already running even though we've only been out here a few minutes. It stinks when it's like this because I have to waste so much time walking back and forth from the garage getting these light strings one by one. But it's impossible to work with these things when they're outside in this weather for any length of time. So even though this takes longer, it's a lot less aggravating. So working with frozen lights is not fun, especially in the tangling department. I used to have enough of these to go around all these trees like this. I think looks pretty cool. But these have been breaking every year and I don't think I have enough anymore. I used to have red and green ones like this as well. That went on the fence. And those I know we don't have enough because they all kept breaking. Because that's the DEO quality. Meanwhile, the old incandescent strings seem to just plain work every single year like they're supposed to. This is such a waste of time. This stinks. But we can only work with what we've got. This project is bound to the weather, and so this is what we deal with. Okay, so now, yeah, I think here, what's the next most important one to do? Probably this holly stuff over here. So I have some white lights that go on the holly, and then the end of the lights needs to connect to the red and white ones that wrap around the trunk, and then I have some colored ones that go on the top that need to connect to the red and white ones on the trunk. So this has to be done in order and in a particular fashion. And I think that, what the heck? I think that the strap on one of these gloves just disappeared, because now I can't seem to, oh, here it is. There it is, I got it. Okay, so we're gonna need this string of white, which I can't believe this thing still works. Is this, looks like this is 2. Yeah, it's working 100%. It's flickering something awful, but it's working. You know, I suppose on the plus side, all this movement is good because it's keeping me warm, but it is wasting a lot of time. Okay, so this is a 3-way plug here, and it doesn't need to be. That's fine, it doesn't matter. I think when I was putting this out, I forgot that this all interconnects, so that this isn't necessary. It's hard to remember every single detail. A lot that goes into this. And I'm glad I'm finally getting all this like pretty thoroughly on video this year, because unless you do a display like this, you really don't have an appreciation of what actually goes into this and how many hours and hours and hours it takes between the actual setting up, the repairs, the design, the takedown, the storage. So we have to make sure that this ends right at the base of the tree here. Like that. It's not as many lights as I would prefer, but it's all we've got. I don't like the way this looks. It's going to look better if it goes all the way back, but is more sparse. Okay. That's only about half as many lights as I'd prefer to be on there, but I don't have enough. They're all broke. And I can't replace them this year. They're too expensive. So we do the best we can with what we've got. And the incandescent stuff is easy to fix. This LED stuff, I don't know how to fix it. I've tried. I bought that LED discarder basic Didn't really have good luck with that. And even if you can identify where the problem is, how do you get the bulbs? So I don't have a good understanding of how to fix the DEL strings, nor do I really want to spend the time anyways, because they're kind of junk. I'd rather just buy incandescent ones. I'm only running these LED ones because I don't have enough electricity to do this side of the yard in an incandescent. However, that's kind of been solved, because with these diode things we're going to build, it cuts the power consumption in half, which technically would allow us to use twice as many lights. So by that logic, we probably could use incandescent over here instead. But then there's a nostalgia to these LED ones, even though I don't particularly like them. So I kind of like to have some. And you really can't mix them because they're just two different aesthetics. So it kind of works out to have one half of the yard in incandescent and then one half in the DEL. Alright, this is the most difficult one to do because I can't get on the inside of this very easily without wrecking the holly. And this holly looks nice. I pruned it this year. It looks good now. I don't want to wreck the holly. Oh, people need to be shouting now about this hour. Go to sleep. Oh no, I'm the one to be talking out here playing with Christmas lights at 11 o'clock at night. But at least I'm being quiet. I like him out here screaming, "Bucks!" or something. Just quietly putting lights up. I've pretty much got this down to a science. I've been doing this for this particular yard. This is the 4th year on it. So I've kind of solved most of the issues, such as, trying to wrap lights without being able to get around the tree all the way. It's hard to believe this is the 4th Christmas here already. Okay, now here's where things get a little tricky. There's not enough slack to wrap it around all the way. Okay, got it. So now we have to transition this to the next string. Now this did not end at a good spot. So that kind of stinks. I don't think I have any more cords to just run a new wire up. I've used up probably 90% of the extension cords I have, which is a ridiculous amount. So we really need to, it's just going to be whatever it is. I'd like to put a lot more lights on this tree too, but I don't have them. I don't want to spend money on DEL lights. I know they're not going to last. They're a bad investment. And they never really go on sale. I mean, they do, but they don't go down to, a couple pennies a piece like the incandescent ones do. I guess what I'm going to do this year is, if I have any money left for the sales, I think I'm going to pick up more strings of 300 mini lights, because I could do a big, larger tree like this in a string of those pretty well. Okay, I have now I got to think about what to put on this. I have, let's see, I have these, oh, what's this here? This is another string of white. And maybe it doesn't work. Oh, it works. Okay, we can add some more. Let's add some more white lights. We got them. Might as well put them out. I thought it wasn't quite that sparse last year. It wasn't. Okay, that's good. Yeah, the coloring on these lights isn't too bad. It's just a flicker. Flicker or something awful on these. That's much better. Much better. Now this at least has kind of the amount of lights I'd like to have. It's still a tad sparse, but it's much better. You know what? I do have one cord. I can grab this cord from the street light back here because we're not going to be using that one anytime soon. Talk about frozen wires. Holy cow. I can see frost on the ground. This morning the water was frozen when I woke up. By the end of the week, it'll probably be so frozen we can walk out on it. All right, so what I will do is we'll put, where should we start this? We'll start it here. You know, having that cord there might look worse than just having the lights start off of the ones from the trunk. Let's see, let's check it. see what looks better. We got to get the lights pole as well. I think this will be the last thing we use that for. Not going to get the long one, we just need the short one. And a bunch of crazy winds and all the leaves are back. Got the pole. A giant C-clip just fell. And here's the lights. There's actually a fairly decent length there. I wonder how far this is gonna go. Yeah, winter is definitely in full force now. You know why this cord is so noticeable? Because of the street light. That color of the street light is rendering this color very strongly. It's probably not even noticeable with the street light off. These don't appeal to me in the slightest, but they are so nostalgic at this point. I think for the sake of simplicity, we are just going to tap it off the lights on the trunk. Well, no we're not, because it's not coming out far enough. It's going to look goofy. If the cord is too obvious, I can probably take it in like this. And this is a rare case where it being frozen is working to my advantage. Loop this on there like that. And it's backwards from what I wanted. Wanted this. And I'll just let that run down the center of the tree like that. And then I'll pass it underneath the holly and out. And now it's a lot less obvious. Yep, that's a good move. Whoa! I almost fell. Just pass this right under here to the plug-in. Oh no. This is tangling up. We still working in the frame here? No. Good thing I checked. You're not working within the frame. Kind of surprised the camera battery's not frozen. It almost fell again. These are starting to get kind of frozen. And they're holding their shape. starting to get so cold. I can feel it when I'm trying to breathe. Okay, that seems pretty good for that section. No, except for this over here, this looks kind of weird. Why is this like this? That's better. Kind of looked like a graph, a line graph. It's not supposed to look like a line graph. Okay, I think next we'll see how many more of those red and white strings I have. I think I only have 2 or 4 more, which is only 1 or 2 trees. There's two more sets of trees I'd like to do. Hopefully I have enough. But I recall last year they started to break. So let's see what we got. Oh, I actually might have the 2 pairs. The question is, do they work? This feels kind of heavy. Is this? No, this is actually 3 of these strings. Huh. Why did I think that I didn't have enough of these? Maybe I'm thinking of the red and green ones that are identical to this, just a different color, that I used to use on the fence. Okay, I've got 3 more pairs in total, including the ones I'm holding, so let's see here. These are working. I'm going to satisfy this heater in here. It's warm enough. I guess I happen to have enough to do what I was going to do. Interesting. I don't know why I thought I didn't. Okay, starting to get a little dizzy here. Just needs to finish up. Be very careful with the bark on this tree. This tree's getting a little flaky. Okay, that's good. Now connect this. This is not connecting nicely at all. Okay, it's connected. Okay, now we're going to move over to another section and we're going to put some colored lights and the remaining strings of the candy cane theme lights. This is the mailbox area. This is where all the bills and advertisements come in. And I have 2 strings of fake C9 lights, multicolor, that we'll put around these trees. And the 4 strings of the red and white lights. I better check all these before we start, in case we got to change how we do it based on quantity. I have a bad feeling that some of these strings don't work. But then again, probably not, because I would have sorted it out differently if they didn't work. Okay, pair number 1. It's got a few bulbs burnt out, but it is working. Okay, so that's good to use. And then there's only 1 string of those red and green lights in this box. So I'm guessing that every other one of those failed. I don't know why. I used those on the fence. It's not like they were, aggressively trying to put up into a tree and shaking in the wind like a wind dance pedestal fan. They're pretty sturdy on the fence. fairly protected from the wind and everything. I don't know why they went out. Okay, this string is working. Might only need one string on one of those trees because it's pretty thin. Let's see if this other one's working. Sure is tangled. This is connected to the red and green string, so I don't think so that was used on one of these trees. I'm guessing that maybe I just wrapped it double. Just wrap these two trees together, maybe. That kind of makes sense. I don't want to speak too soon, though. We're making pretty good progress here. It's going pretty well so far. No, I don't think I wrapped those two together. That would look kind of goofy. Maybe it was just two strings and one string. Part of the problem is it kind of changes every year because it kind of changes every year as the stuff grows. I might have to put a splitter on this cord because this does not have the oh, you know what? Then the cord shouldn't be there. The cord should be over here. It's going to start over here. Everything's got to start over here. These don't have the stacking plug, which is annoying. Okay, I'll get another string and I'll get a 3-way splitter to put on there. Now, I thought I had bought a whole bunch of these splitters but last year, the year before last year. I hardly have any of them left. I don't know where they all went. Unless I just put them all somewhere different, that's a possibility too. Could have just put them somewhere else. This one is a Commercial Electric LA-24, made in China. I think that one string is probably adequate. But where else would I use this? I wonder if I should just put both of them, because I don't know where else I'd use it, but then it's not going to look right because it's going to be inconsistent. Oh, this is kind of a neat rock. Yeah, one of these will get us high enough. So maybe we'll just have an extra in case one goes out. Yeah, putting a second would make it too tall. Okay, now we'll get the multicolor lights. Those C9s around the garage look sharp. That was an excellent addition. This had some buds on it. It really shouldn't. Well, we have a breakdown. These are not working. We just had a lights peeper. Okay, this second string is not working either. At all. This is completely busted. Okay, let's try the third string. Okay, this is working. So that string works. This string is halfway busted, and this string is full. What the heck, did the mailman come by and bust up these lights? These worked fine last year, I thought. I think I would have remembered if two-thirds of it went out. Huh. Well, that's problematic. And now it's not going to be enough. Huh. Well, now what are we going to do? Well, that kind of stinks. This is really only enough for one of these bushes, so we might have to just kind of change the plans over here and only do one of the bushes because of this catastrophic failure. Huh. Well, that's disappointing. Let me see what I got for extension. I didn't need another short extension cord for this. I can't believe all those aren't working. What the heck is up with that? This is what I'm talking about. These stupid LED lights, they don't last a couple years and then they're shot. I don't even think I have any more short extension cords. I think I pretty much used them all. No, I don't really have any left that are just a short length. Well, this is quite the predicament. That really stinks. I can't believe that's totally busted like that. Well, I suppose what I can do for now is I'll just use the busted string as a carrier, and I'll have to go pick up one more extension. I noticed this year that some of the extension cords at the Home Depot are suspiciously cheap, like $2 or $3 per unit. So maybe I'll just go grab a couple of those. Yep, this is typical DEL for you. Typican DEL. I don't like it for good reasons. And this whole string now is just useless. And this probably was like 30 or 40 bucks too. These are long strings. It's kind of funny, the LED display side shrinks every year, but the incandescent one grows. I guess this will eventually all be replaced with incandescent. This is almost, I might have to just take these back inside and let them warm up. They're so knotted up now. Here we go, I got it. Okay. Now let's plug this busted thing in.
How much we admire what you do here.
Oh, thanks.
Every year I look forward to this. It is so beautiful.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoy it.
It's a lot of work you're doing.
Yes, it is. A lot of work.
It's just so beautiful, though.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Have a good day.
You too.
Good night, sorry.
Now the problem with having this busted string on the ground here is that when it rains, it might partially start to work and then it looks just shoddy. So I do want to replace it with a extension, but this will get us by for now. This set's flaky too, it's flashing. Well, hopefully it makes it through the year. Oh. Hey, barely, this is gonna barely make it through the year, I think. These must have been particularly bad quality. Come on, piece of junk lights, just stay on. All right, they're still on. How long they'll be on for? It's anybody's guess. Well, the answer was about 25 seconds. Just went out. Y'all gotta be kidding. I'm not gonna have any lights left for this area here if these don't start working. There's gotta be something loose somewhere. Yeah, something loose over here. Wish I could identify where it was. I think it's this one. Yeah, this would be acceptable if these cost 99 cents. But the fact that these cost so much, and this is what you get after just a couple of years, it's a total turnoff from using these type of lights. I can't tell where it is. It's somewhere over here. That's disappointing. That's very disappointing. Well, let's do this tree next. This tree will actually have, it's a rare situation. These are going to have some DELs that I don't mind. Actually kind of like them a little bit. Had them for quite a few years now, and hopefully they still work. Suppose there's a good chance they might not. These are a multicolor string, and I don't know if they're made of just like a really thick plastic or if they're actually ceramic, but they're pretty heavy. They had a reasonable coloring. I don't think the flicker was too bad. I really think the best LED lights I've ever seen are these ones on these 2 oaks by the driveway. These are, I mean, they're not quite as good as the incandescents, of course, but for an LED product, they are phenomenal. I wish I had more of those. I would use those all over the yard if I had more. But I can't find them. I've searched everywhere. Even, if I tried to trace down what the OEM was and go that way, I even tried to search on stupid e-rip-off. And I don't go in there until I'm desperate. And there were none on there either. So, not one stinking box was on there. Alright, so that was a fail, which is unfortunate. Alright, here's the string of the lights. The telephone, opened the phone book, which we don't need right now. No, don't need anybody's telephone number at the moment. Let's see if this is working. These are working. Now we'll need the decorating pole again. Yeah, that looked better when it was all, the whole thing was wrapped around there, but oh well, you only work with what you got. Yeah, for LED, these are pretty good. These are probably my second favorite ones after the Home Accents holiday ones on the big oaks. Now there's one bulb out here. I think that's the first one that's going out on this whole set so far. And remember, I put these on the canopy frame at the old location one year, and it looked pretty cool. Yeah, these are pretty decent. Now they're not fooling me. I can tell they're LED, but for an LED product, these look nice. I'm not going to try to pass them off as an incandescent, but if you take them for what they are, perfectly good. Yeah, I can't tell. I guess they're plastic. They're very, very thick plastic. I thought they were ceramic, but they're scratched up, so they're probably not ceramic. I have no recollection of what brand these were, but I think they might have been a little more expensive. I recall correctly, these came on a reel. And I wonder if I kept the label for that reel. There's a chance it's in that box. I did tend to do that. I would take the labels off the reels and just throw them in the bottom of the box just for reference. So I might be able to find out what the brand on these is. It's not that it really matters. I'm sure these are long discontinued because they're pretty decent. No, this is not ending in a good place here. I gotta get a little more slack out of this. All right, hopefully that's enough to get it to the next branch so it can end in a good spot. that's much better. We'll end it here. No, that's not ending right. It's still not ending right. All right, that works. That's good. Okay, so next we're going to move to the over to where the fence is, and we're going to do something we've never done before. We are going to put some stakes in the ground and have the lights run along the edge of the yards here, and then they'll finish in the holly bush. We're going to use that new General Electric Energy Dome string, which looks pretty nice. I'm satisfied with those for an LED product. They're just too pricey to buy any significant quantity of them. I mean, 2 strings put you almost at $100, which is nutty. Especially because chances are good it's only going to last a couple of years anyways, with a bogus 5-year warranty. Alright, so there's 26 stakes, and we're not going to use anywhere near that many because we're not going to put a light on every single stake. We're just going to use it to kind of hold up the lights off the ground. Then you put a stake every couple of feet and just make like a drape design. These are the stakes. These are the ones that Kevin gave me. So we'll just stick these in the ground like this. These are super flimsy, and there's no way that these would go in the ground if the ground was any bit frozen. They're barely going in the ground now. Okay, before I spend all the time putting these in there, let's make sure that this is going to work and not just like look stupid or something. This one's down too low, I can already tell that much. So that would look a little stupid. telephone just came on again. I really hope that's the plug and not the string being busted already. I think it was. Yeah, I actually really quite like these now that I'm seeing them unraveled. And they're not fooling me. I can tell they're LED, but for an LED product, they look pretty decent. Yeah, that looks fine. I kind of envisioned them being higher up, but that was dumb because I know how long the stakes are, and obviously it's not going to get any taller than that. Duh. Barely any earth on top over the rocks here to stick this in. Hopefully, once the ground freezes, it'll kind of secure these in place better. Because they're just barely sitting here. And there's no way we're going to be able to correct that once the ground freezes. Well, that's totally not straight at all. No, that's ridiculous. I gotta fix that. It's not even remotely close to how it should be. Can't really get that one in the ground at all. Okay, we used about 20 sticks. Actually, we used exactly 20 sticks. Wish there was more lights at the end there, but it's okay. It's good enough. Good enough for 20 degrees. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I think I will go and pick up a couple strings of 50 and put them on these 3 trees. I got a 3 outlet inline connector there for when we do that. I'm going to pick up all these leaves first before I put that down. I don't have that on hand, so we can't do that tonight. We can't put some lights on the fence. I have only a couple strings of DEL remaining. I got these ridiculous die-hard ones in here. Those things are such a joke. I've got these, which I believe were General Electric. Yep, they're General Electric branded. Let's see, that works. And that works. These are fully working. So we can use these. Those GE ones I just put out aren't bad. The spacing is just so close together. That's why the string of 150 doesn't go anywhere. Things get a little tricky over here because we have to compensate for the gate. So this string has to go. Close this up so we can find out. So this has to stop here. So I'll have to adjust the hanging depth. Oh boy, this is really falling apart over here. And it's got to drape a little bit more than that to go through all the slack. All right, that's, whoa, almost fell. Okay, let's make sure this will open and close without pinching anything. Yep, that should be fine. Perfect. And so then we have to just get a shorter string on the other side that connects on the other side to finish it off. Let me go look and see what I have in the garage. We need something that's colored. Maybe can we make use of that busted string from by the mailbox? Oh, wait a minute. I've got this one here. I forgot about the diehards. because the diehards are pretty similar in appearance. So we'll use these. Assuming they didn't actually die hard. These have surprisingly been pretty reliable for whatever it's worth. Yeah, when these bulbs fell out, get back in there. Alright, let's see if these work. They do. It's nothing short of a miracle. A Christmas miracle. Okay. So I'll hang these up, and I'll have to figure out how to plug these in now. Because they're going to have to... I got to plug in from the other side. Any open plugs around here? There's this one here, right behind where the camera is. Maybe we'll use that one. See if this cord is long enough. Oh boy. The brand new string of GE Energy dumb just went out. Oh, why did that happen? Hopefully it's just an issue with the plug. Seems to be an issue with the plug. It's not making good connection. Hopefully that fixes it. Now let's see if this frozen cord, look at this, this is ridiculous. See if this is the right length. Not the right length. It only goes to here. Okay, how can we change this? This is a predicament. I don't think I have any more of those splitters, and that's what I really need. Let's see if I can find one. Oh, I can use this. I'm going to use this. This is a splitter type apparatus. It's not what I was thinking of, but this will work. This will complete the puzzle. Can use this. Wow, this is just barely going to be long enough. We have a problem here. There's not enough fence left to put this onto. That's kind of ridiculous, but it's our only option. I think this is going to be a reoccurring issue this year. This fence piece is so busted up, there's just nowhere to properly hang the wire, or the lights for that matter. Well, we'll do the best we can, and that's it. Yeah, this is a problem. This is 100% a problem. Oh, I think I just solved it. That's kind of cool. Huh, I just solved the problem. At least for now. Who knows how long that'll last. Okay, that's a pretty good fit. Okay, I'm going to go turn off that street light, and then we can review what we did today. That was dumb. I just turned all the other ones on as opposed to turning the one off. Duh. I think I'm going to do a little bit more. I'm getting kind of tired, so I want to stop soon, but I think I'm going to do a little bit more in the front. Let's just see if we can finish putting out the mini lights here in the front. We got 4, well, maybe we can push it to 5. 5 strings to put out. These are all new in the package, so I have to open these up here. So these are from Lowe's, and I got these in the bulk order I did on the sale, and I want to say I paid 79 cents a piece for these. Was that pellets? I think I paid 79 cents a piece for these, which is a steal. I mean, what a great deal. And probably bought 100 of them for $70. These are made in, where are these made? It doesn't even say. They're made in Mexico, so they're probably very good quality. This is under the Holiday Living brand. I'm not sure what the OEM of that brand is, but I find that Mexico generally does pretty good quality manufacturing, so chances are these are reasonable. Actually, they have a okay lead wire. It's almost a foot long. Nothing great, but by today's standards, it ain't bad. So it would be nice if we could get all three of these to not have any extraneous wire, but I'm not quite sure. Ow. I'm stuck. Okay. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to do that because I can't quite get that in the center. I'd say these are pretty good lights for 79 cents. No complaints there. Well, we can get these two without any extraneous wiring, so maybe we'll just do these two only and not the rose bush. Can probably put a whole second string on there. Probably even fit 3 strings on here if we tried, but we'll stay with 2 because I only got so many out of the attic. The stinking telephone. Oh, that time it turned on. That's not good. Okay, that's pretty good. And I think lastly for tonight, we'll put a couple more strings out on these 2 bushes, and then that will complete the front landscaping, leaving only the stupid deer and the stuff that's broken and the backyard, so the fence, the one tree with the C9s on it, and then the nativity scene, which I'll probably do its own separate video on because that's never been seen before. Yeah, I'm getting tired. We're gonna call it after this. I think it's almost midnight. I'm surprised this is still as strong as it is. This is not an evergreen bush. This is just dead branches that it's going to shed before the spring. But it seems strong enough to hold the lights, so might as well make use of it. And that's perfect like that. You can't even tell that it's joined. Perfect. Oh, that don't look too good from this angle. Let's fix that. There we go. Good enough. It could have taken a second string, but I didn't get any more out of the attic. I don't think it's worth going back up there to get another one. So that's it for tonight. Things are really shaping up out here now. Just trying to sample how this films Christmas lights. It's not bad, but I think that the Ghost Pro might be a little bit better. Color kind of gets lost and washed out with this one. Well, it's not taking a bad picture of those C9s. This right about there, that's about what it looks like in person in terms of brightness. It's pretty bright, but it looks better on the video, kind of like that. Really like the way this came out. This came out great. I've never done it like this before, but I think that will be a new standard. It looks really nice. And here's what we got on the DEL side of things. It's filled in pretty nicely. Why is this blurry? These pieces of junk. Ugh. Yeah, these are pretty nice. I like these. Keep an eye on these at the end of the year, see if they go on sale. Pretty good for an LED product. Well, things are definitely shaping up out here. We'll do some more
tomorrow.